It has been a few months since the last installment of this series, so why don't we talk about what I played and beat in both December and January, mainly because January was pretty much one game, and I am a little conflicted about that, so we'll touch on it. It's been a really fun few months of gaming. Leading into the holidays, I saved up enough money to finally pick up a PlayStation 5. I've mainly been a PC gamer since 2017. Still love the platform, but not being at a desk is kind of nice. Most of my normal job is done at a desk in front of a screen and a keyboard, and it's just hard to separate the two. So sitting on a couch, kicking your feet up, and just playing a console experience has been pretty fun. With that said, Astro Bot was the first game I picked up for the PlayStation 5, and to say I love it is an understatement. I've talked about this game enough on the channel the last few months. If you've seen any dual commentary podcast episodes or any videos lately, you know everything about it. It's just perfect. The best demonstration of the dual senses capabilities, and in my opinion, some of the most fun you can have in gaming. It takes just about everything I love with games, crams it into one thing, and it's a solid 3D platformer. I've been transported back to being a kid playing Super Mario 64 on a friend's machine, and just back then seeing what games could be, and now seeing what they can be as well. I don't even care about achievements, and I platinumed this game. It's my only platinum I've ever gotten, and it was worth every second. Team Asobi knocked it out of the park. I don't need to say anything more. If you have a PlayStation 5, you're kind of on the fence if you like the gameplay or not. I think each PS5 comes with Astro's Playroom, another game I beat in the last month, and well worth trying. If you haven't played through it, it's a good sample of what Astro Bot is like. It just takes all the concepts in Playroom and does it much, much better. After Astro Bot, I dove into Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I don't really have experience with this franchise. I played like old demos in 02, I guess, or 03 when like the original Ratchet and Clank came out, and it felt great. You know, this was like peak PS2 time for me, but I was more so playing games like Final Fantasy X, Metal Gear Solid 2, Ace Combat 4, the SSX snowboarding games. They had my time and attention back then. It was also around the same time that Halo CE got a hold of me and just changed my entire gaming trajectory. So I can absolutely say Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, near perfect game, at least for me. Crazy nice visuals. It's like you're playing a Pixar film. Fun sandbox with some great mechanics. It's just a 3D platformer shooter with a lot of destruction to be had. Near perfect tech demo capabilities for the PlayStation 5. They really utilize that SSD, the controller, the like little adaptive triggers are a ton of fun. And it's a short game, great voice acting, a lovely story, bunch of varied world side content, all that stuff. You know, it's not the type of game I'll probably go back and play again, but I would recommend it to just about anybody. Whereas Astro Bot, I mean, I rolled credits and I couldn't wait to start a fresh save. Yeah, so nothing bad to say about Rift Apart. It's fun and worth checking out. I think it's on PS Plus Extra at this time too, so worth trying. After that, continuing with the Sony route, trying to play catch up on all these exclusives that I've missed. Horizon Forbidden West. All right, this one is complicated because I loved Zero Dawn back in the day. I've tried to replay it a few times, and I just can't get into it. The opening sequence is so much exposition and that walking simulator, that kind of game we've seen over and over again since The Last of Us. Now jump to Forbidden West. This game was a longer playthrough, and I have a lot of positive to say about it. I didn't like the story, and I ended up like pretty much dropping the game near the very end. It took me 2 weeks to come back to it to finally finish the last mission. Before we get into the Forbidden West details, let's jump to Sayonara Wild Hearts. This is a really cool indie game made by two people, and it's like playing through an album of music. It's like a rhythm game as well as like a music visualizer. Absolutely gorgeous. Can't recommend it enough. It's extremely short, so if you can, try it on PS Plus Extra or whatever if you don't want to pick it up. I loved it. Absolutely loved that game, and I want more of them, and it was short, which was really helpful for me. Okay, back to Forbidden West. This is one of the best looking games I have ever played. The Decima engine Yeah, it's visually busy at times, but there are moments I could not believe. I will put a link down below to a post on Patreon. It'll be open to everybody to see. It's a bunch of screenshots I took during the journey, so you can see like the high resolution bits of it. It is unreal what they were able to make the PS5 do. I just have a base PS5, not the Pro, and there were moments where I was saying this is the best looking game I think I've ever played. The sound design is amazing. The map is astounding. It's my favorite part of the game, like just exploring. And they expanded the sandbox. There's a lot more weapons and gadgets and skills and things to do. So much so that I forgot about a lot of those mechanics during the playthrough, especially when I took the 2-week break and I came back. I think it's a nice thing. I don't ever really want to criticize, like, when a sequel adds depth, and as long as it's still approachable, it's on me. Like, I should go and watch a YouTube video, learn more, read about it if I want to get back up to speed. I think it's cool that they really, really leaned into the game and that it has deep systems. Now, the story. Oh, the story. I did not like where they took things. Zero Dawn had a pretty awesome story. And you can suspend your disbelief, for sure. You're playing this crazy futuristic sci-fi fantasy game where there's like robot dinosaurs that you're shooting with bows and arrows. So when I say they took the story in a laughable direction, it was pretty off the wall. And ultimately, it's a long game. And this brings me back to the discussion video that I had with Epos in November, where I kind of miss games like God of War 3 versus God of War 2018, where that Last of Us occasion of all of these games has taken place. Sony has nailed these quadruple A, mega epic, blockbuster narrative games, and they are amazing. But for the time in life that I'm at right now, if you're gonna be a 35, 40 hour game, you gotta be awesome, because I could finish a bunch of other indies in that same time frame. And I think that's why I kind of leave Forbidden West pretty conflicted. Guerrilla made a ridiculously impressive game. It's like photorealistic Breath of the Wild at moments. It's so ambitious in so many ways, and it nails it. But there's just enough little stumbles. They miss the mark over and over in small ways that it kind of just left me a little disappointed. I'll still recommend the game if you like this universe, but with some apprehension and some caution. And this kind of got me thinking, okay, I have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I put like 10 hours in. I know there's a ton more to go. Got God of War Ragnarok. I'm pretty burned out on these open worldy kind of games right now. I think I need a palate cleanser of more short games, more indies, more gamey games. Maybe that's just a sign of where I'm at in life right now. I probably judge things a little harsher because free time is really, really rare. And if I do pick a long game like a Horizon to finish, it took the entire month. And to kind of leave going, well, that was like 10 out of 10 in some ways and then 6 out of 10 in other ways is kind of tricky. So if you have experience or thoughts or ideas or tips about this, let me know down below. The final game I played was Undertale. I played Undertale in 2016, 2017 when it came out. Loved it back then. And I've continued to listen to the music while I work over the last 7 years. I've got a playlist of a bunch of like chill, lo-fi Undertale remixes or action-y, heroic stuff. And there's something about this game that just sticks with you. I don't know if it'll resonate with everyone, but it was made by one person, Toby Fox, and Toby Fox made the music and the entire game. The whole thing was done in Game Maker Studio, a free engine that you can go download right now and make your own game with. It is mind-blowing. And I think Undertale is a piece of art, at least to me. Every time I play it or get around to watching stuff about it, I feel like he's getting at something bigger. The story, the music, the themes, I can't put my finger on it, but every time it leaves me thinking. And I really like that. And I don't really know what it's saying other than some big broad themes. And if you played the game, you know what those are. This time around, I'm going for the true pacifist ending. Just about there at this point. I think I'm going to be playing Undertale once a year around this time of the year. January to March, I think, is just the toughest time of the year. You're just in grind mode. It's not summer, it's not spring, it's cold outside. You don't really make a bunch of progress towards anything. It feels like you've set your goals and you're just doing your best, but sometimes it just doesn't move the needle. So games like these are good. It's a nice reminder. And that was January and December. And I don't really have any big life lessons to take away from these last few months, other than I like games that bring joy. I'm kind of tired of the big epic adventures right now. It's just not what I sort of want. Maybe the fun short experiences are where I'm going to set my sights. Things like Astro Bot really reminded me of just joy with gaming. Well, thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you played in the last few months. And not just like, did you like the game, but how did it impact you, like as a person? Did it make you think about things differently? What did it do for you? And how does it change the way you see things day to day? Or maybe it didn't. There's no big deal. Also, this last week, I launched a Patreon, so go check that out if you enjoy these videos. I don't really want to paywall anything. I want to keep everything open to everybody. But if you enjoy the stuff I'm doing here, go take a look. Otherwise, I hope you have a great week ahead. Thanks for taking some time to watch this video. And again, let me know what you've been playing and what you've been enjoying and any recommendations you have. We'll see you again very soon.